first thing that usually comes to mind when people think of legacies is inheritance, either maybe money or some kind of property. But our next guest says there's an even more valuable legacy that often gets overlooked, and that's the legacy of a life story.
Exactly. We are talking about preserving, celebrating, and sharing your life stories on video. Take a look.
He loved to tell me, and then when my brother was young, he liked to tell him stories. And we'd sit on his lap, and he made up characters. And it was a different set of characters for my brother than it was for me. And they were always animals. And he made up stories about them, and that was a lot of fun. My mom's name was Helen Louise Crum Tulloch. She was born in Rockford. The spelling that my grandmother used and my mother was born with was C-R-U-M-B. My feeling is these people came from southern Pennsylvania, which is kind of called Pennsylvania Dutch.
That is so lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Steve Pender joins us now. Steve is a personal historian and video biographer. He is also the president of Tucson's Family Legacy Video. Steve, welcome to the show today.
Oh gosh, thanks for having me.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about life stories as legacies and what that means exactly.
Sure, well, you know, great example. We're all, in one sense, libraries. I mean, we all are packed with all these life stories and experiences. And those are the things that are really important to pass along, because when someone passes on without passing those stories along, it's like burning down a library. You know, all of that is lost. And these stories really go to personal identity, family history, sense of self. They're really so important. So that's what I mean by stories as a legacy. You know, they're just as if not even more important than, you know, the cash, you know, that you might get as part of an inheritance.
Well, what sparked your passion to kind of capture these legacies for families?
I came to this by way of a personal experience. You know, this was the late 90s, and I was the firstborn grandchild in my family, and I had a wonderful grandmother by the name of Pender. She was, and I think at least every family has at least one of these people, she was the family storyteller and historian. We had a fairly extended family, and she just knew who everybody was. And so I learned so much about her life. She was born in 1911 in Staten Island, and all the experiences she had, and her knowledge about the family members, and I wanted to capture that. So I sat her down. I was in corporate video at the time, sat her down and interviewed her and produced a documentary about her. She died shortly thereafter. So most of the family, the first showing was at the repast following her funeral. And when I saw the impact it had on my family that day, and in the years since, because the impact still resonates, that set me on the path to thinking about this as a business. And in 2003, after moving to Tucson, I started Family Legacy Video.
Well, we are so glad you did. It's beautiful work that you do. Now,
Thank
what is exactly a video biography?
Simplest way to think about a video biography is as a personal documentary. We use the same techniques that, you know, if you're familiar with, say, a Ken Burns documentary or documentaries you might have seen on the History Channel or whatever. That's what we do. Instead of producing a documentary about some great world event, however, we're producing a documentary about, you know, your parents or your grandparents, and interviewing them and incorporating all of your family photos and archival films and things as well.
And so what are the services that you offer? Like we were looking at this video, it's a little bit of picture, a little bit of video.
Sure, the video biographies can be simple You know, it can be just, say, kind of like this, where we're just talking on camera, or it can be much more highly produced, where like the piece you saw, we're incorporating all sorts of visuals to help illustrate and enhance the story. Some folks may be a little camera shy, so we can do audio biographies.
Okay.
You know, and then I also will do speaking engagements throughout town. So if you have a group or organization and you need a speaker, if you'll feed me, I'll be there.
Sounds like me.
Oh, there you go. And I'll do a nice presentation for you. And then if folks are interested, they want to learn more, they can either just call me or visit the Family Legacy Video website. And I'll also do free in-home consultations, so I can come find out a little bit more about your stories, the things you'd like to accomplish, because everything I do is custom. It's not a cookie-cutter thing, and show you examples and help you out there. So, that's the core of what I provide. Yeah.
Well, I've said this on the show before, you know, we're now, if Facebook went down, we would lose all of our pictures and, you know, it's all on our phones and things of that sort.
Yeah.
This is such a wonderful way to capture that.
And you make a very great point, because in so many families, there's maybe one or two people that have all the photos, you know, or all the old albums. And this is a way to get all of those photos and things into the hands of everybody in the family.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Steve, thank you so much for coming and telling us about this and allowing us to watch the video.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
That was amazing. And you can get a free in-home consultation to talk about capturing your legacy on video. For more information, you can call 743-4090 or log on to FamilyLegacyVideo.com.